You're not Elon Musk. Work on less things. Focus. You only need to pay attention to one thing and do it over and over and over and over and over again, and then you'll succeed. That's the typical business advice that you see online, or I see online anyway. As you can see from this channel, I am not following that at all, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. Expert after expert telling us that if we focus on just one specific thing and get very good at that skill, we'll succeed. And I thought that I was in the wrong for a while because I don't have that kind of attention span. I can't work on one specific thing. I remember I even got into the agency business because I wanted to work with multiple clients in multiple industries. Like, I needed to be doing a million things at once or else I would go crazy. Like, I don't know how people do just one thing. So, in this video, I want to talk about how everything applies to everything else. You might wonder, how am I able to run a t-shirt company? Now available at wohello.com. Run a consulting business for multi-million-dollar companies. Experiment27.com. Check us out if you want to meet billion-dollar brands. How am I able to effectively release 3 YouTube videos a week on this channel and do business coaching and run Lorelia Films, where we make documentaries for top business book authors, like Amazon and New York Times best-selling authors. And Garblick, where we've worked with Pauly Shore and a bunch of these top comedians. And produce comedy shows, and make art, and make music. How am I able to do all this stuff? Well, it comes down to one simple insight, which is everything applies to everything else. And I'll tell you a few stories so that it's clear what I'm talking about here. I started this t-shirt company, Wohello, and I've documented that. There's 2 videos, I think, up already on this channel. We might have a 3rd or 4th coming soon. So I came up with this t-shirt idea, and it required me to learn how to set up a Shopify store. It required me to learn how to negotiate with Printful and find a vendor to come up with these items. Creating Wohello gave me the confidence to draw more. So t-shirt company has influenced my art, but also t-shirt company playing around with Shopify apps has given us new ideas for our Shopify company simple apps. So t-shirt company has influenced our software business. That's one. Walking into art galleries, buying art, negotiating with vendors, that whole process of going through the art world and seeing those pricing structures. I even talked about it in the Martin Lawrence Gallery video and a couple of these other videos. That inspired the changes to the coaching pricing with bump sale. So there's 2 on that actually. That inspired the changes to the coaching pricing and finding bump sale, which I did a review of last week or next week, depending on how the schedule works out. But that also led to a new Shopify idea, which also improved simple apps. So the art world has now improved coaching and simple apps, and possibly X27, because we're launching a group coaching program that I haven't announced yet. And a lot of the storytelling that is going into the copy for those emails and that launch sequence comes from adding art to copy, which has come from the movie business. So Garblick and Lorelia have influenced these YouTube videos. Another way, actually, notice the lighting is so much better on these videos. That's because I got into filmmaking with Lorelia and with Garblick. Notice the costuming is a lot better. That's because I'm into clothing design with Wohello. Everything applies to everything else. Here's another one that's like completely out of left field. So we were pitching TV show ideas with Lorelia. We don't just make documentaries, but we're talking to these New York Times best-selling authors to get permission to use their stories to pitch major networks. And one thing I realized when pitching shows is as soon as you come up with that concept for a show, all the episode ideas flow from there. So for instance, when we were pitching our show, International Tycoon, which got picked up for 1 episode run on Entrepreneur, by the way, so I'm a filmmaker. As soon as we figured out the show was called International Tycoon, and it was me traveling around to these developing countries to talk about entrepreneurship, all the ideas flowed from there. That has influenced the way we sell art, because now, and I'll talk about this in a future video, I structure the way I draw and the way I paint and the way I sell these paintings around specific themes similar to how you'd sell a TV show. For instance, this painting behind me is part of a series on Chinese art called Outsourcing Art. And the setup that I came up with is, we're gonna show the original picture that this is based on. We're gonna show the notes, similar to that mini documentary on how I bought a painting from China. We might even show that documentary in the gallery, just have it playing on loop. And then we'll have this painting here. And that entire setup is what people are gonna buy. So it's not just selling one specific painting or trying to get a painting into a gallery that way. By the way, this is all theoretical. I would not run with any of this until it's tested. I'll get back to you in a few months on how these tests play out. But we're pitching based on that TV show concept that we learned. Giving notes on movie scripts and improving the flow and the story of those scripts at both Garblic and Lorelia has improved how I give notes on cold emails, and it's improved how I give notes to our YouTube video editors. So the moral here, or the lesson here, is test a lot, follow your passions, because you never know when an insight from one of your passion projects is going to influence your main project, or when your passion project is going to become your main project. You don't know, and the way that you're able to do, or the way that I'm able to do so many projects, is by seeing that through line, by recognizing that everything is the same thing. If you want the proposal that we use at Lorelia to sell our video production, you can have that for free. That is experiment27.com/proposal. If you want the questions that we ask at Experiment27 to qualify marketing clients, you can have that for free as well, experiment27.com/discovery. If you want to work with X27 to grow your digital agency, you want to work with billion-dollar brands, that is over at Experiment27.com. If you want to buy this shirt, that is the Basquiat over at WhoaHello.com. Share this video if you want, and I'll talk to you later. I'm Alex Berman. Thanks for watching.